Okay, so we have Gary. Gary presents to us with an overdenture with one of the housings that's come out. You can see the color of the acrylic is a little bit different, so it's been picked up before. You can also see the vent on the underbelly. Gary's housing came out, and if you look at the housing, it's a little bit marred. It looks like it's been replaced before. And so what we're going to do is get a new housing and do a new pickup. All right, so the first thing we want to do is make sure that we get a passive fit with the denture with the old housing in place. We want to make sure it's not binding. So we're going to go ahead and slip the housing onto the implant, just make it seat. And then I'm going to instruct the patient to go ahead and put the denture in his mouth. And I want to make sure that everything is fitting nicely. Does it feel pretty secure like it used to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and bite straight down. Good. We're going to confirm that he's in MICP. The bite looks the same. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull on it. Go ahead and open big for me. He's got good retention there. Good retention there. Okay, perfect. So we know that the housing is not binding and sitting higher than the other ones, preventing this from seating naturally the way it should. So that's good. That's first step. Go ahead and pause. All right, so now what we have to do is reduce the acrylic, the inside there. Now as far as the depth, we know exactly how deep to go because the old housing was seating right here, so we just have to go a little bit deeper than where it was before in order to get enough acrylic to flow around the new housing. We're going to go ahead and just reduce some of that old acrylic. Probably going down about a good millimeter, maybe 1.5 millimeters, 2 millimeters there. Now, I like to use a round burr and just kind of push it up against the walls. It creates a little bit of retention, kind of makes a mechanical lock. Now what we need to do is make a vent in order for the palatal acrylic to flow out, because you don't want your acrylic to flow all inside this denture. So we're just going to punch through. We made a hole in the underbelly. That'll allow the extra material to come out. Right now it's time to connect the housing. What we're going to do is go ahead and use our bonding agent. You can either put it directly into your denture housing, or you can put a little in a dappen dish and just brush it in. It's a little bit more controlled if you brush it in. You can coat a little bit of the perimeter, but you don't want to go too crazy because you don't want to reconstruct and essentially reline your entire denture. You just want acrylic right where you made your hole for the housing. We're going to go ahead and cure. Great. We'll set that to the side, and now we're going to take our block out shim and we're going to take our new housing and set them in the mouth. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and set our shim over top of the locator abutment. And we're going to put our housing. Make sure it's clicked in all the way. I like to give it a little spin sometimes just to confirm that it's completely seated. Super important. We'll instruct the patient not to close. We don't want that getting wet. Now we're going to go ahead and just inject a little bit of acrylic. Okay. I'm going to go back to the patient, dry off his housing. Going to add a little acrylic right on the housing itself. Not a whole lot, just a little. Good. Bite straight down. Bite feels normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Now, as he's biting down, we're going to go ahead and cure from the buccal. I like to do about 20 seconds. We'll come back after we've cured 20 seconds on the buccal and 20 seconds on the lingual. Alright, so the denture has been cured. We're going to go ahead and instruct the patient to remove it and letting them know that it's going to be a little bit tough to get it out because that acrylic just sat. Let's go ahead and remove it from the mouth. Okay. You have to tug hard.
Oh.
There you go. Alright, and here's our housing.
I got a piece of something here.
That's the excess that went out.
Okay.
So there's our housing. Now what we're going to do is remove the little black processing nylon.
Oh, that came out.
Yep, exactly. And here's our little shim that our patient gave us.
Thank God.
Yep. So we're going to clean up the extra acrylic and add a, in this case we're going to put a blue for him. He said he had a little bit of difficulty removing the denture.
That's
so
right.
We're not going to put a pink, we're going to put a blue to it for him. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove our nail processing housing. You can use any sharp instrument you want, or you can use the locator tool. Doesn't really matter. Now in this case, when I look at the acrylic, everything looks really nice. I actually don't have to clean anything up in there, which is a huge benefit, but typically I'd take a small round burr and just clean up the edges right in here, just to make sure that the housing is free of acrylic, essentially overlying the path of insertion. On the lingual, we have very minimal acrylic left over, so what we'll do is just clean that up and polish. You don't need to watch that part, so we'll pause here. Okay, here we are. So we've cleaned up, we've polished the underbelly here, and now we're going to put a blue locator nylon. I like to use this part of the zest instrument and just push it into place, snap it in, and we are effectively done. We're going to go ahead and try this in the patient's mouth now. Let's go ahead. You don't have to pause. Patient will go ahead and insert in the mouth. How's it feel?
Feels good.
Awesome. Reconfirm the bite. Go ahead and bite straight down. Everything looks the same. We'll go ahead and give it a tug. Awesome. We're done.